Good evening from San Francisco. I'm Joyce Taylor, and of course, we are counting down to kickoff. Less than 4 days to go, if you can believe it. And we are so excited. We are so happy to have you with us tonight once again, because we're here every night at 8 o'clock streaming for you. Okay, with less than 4 days to go, we have you covered from Washington all the way down here to San Francisco. No matter what happens in the game on Sunday, though, we do want to tell you that there is one member of the Seahawks who's actually going to make history. Drew Mickelson caught up with this person who's on the radio crew, who is also a trailblazer.
Even here at this Lunar New Year block party in San Francisco's Chinatown, people can't stop talking about the Super Bowl and football. And we know this is a macho, manly game, but you may be surprised to find out there's a member of the Seahawks broadcast team who brings a woman's touch to the Hawks.
Now, Bump, the setting is different. We are live from Radio Row in San Francisco, but the show's the same.
First impressions of Radio Row.
This is an interesting place.
The Super Bowl hype train is at full speed.
And you're getting offensive coordinators who understand.
And Radio Row is like Grand Central Station, where sports talk is clearly a man's world.
I can see a few little, jitter spots, but nothing crazy.
But not for the Seahawks.
I mix their mics, I EQ them, I add dynamics, I put some compression and limiting on them.
Brena Rogers is the broadcast engineer for the Bump and Stacy show on Seattle Sports 710.
Old school players from the Himalayas, you know what I'm saying?
But this Sunday, she'll be in the booth for the Super Bowl, engineering the play-by-play.
Cut straight upfield, has a gap, across the 40, midfield 50.
She's been behind the scenes all year. That's her behind Steve Rabel during Rashid Shaheed's playoff game TD return.
You can see my feet in the background, shuffling around. And I was like, oh, there's my feet, moving around in excitement.
It won't only be her first Super Bowl. Brenna's been told she will be the first woman to ever engineer a radio broadcast for the big game.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I have to stop every once in a while and kind of, look around and take it in and remind myself that this is really cool and that not many people get to do this.
Looking around this week has reminded her she's a trailblazer. Likes to think she's the first, but not the last.
It's a really hard field to get into for women, and add on top of that the STEM aspect, and it's even harder. And so it's I got my foot in the door, and now I'm going to hold the door open for everyone behind me.
Including her own two daughters. She has a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. Her husband also works for the Seahawks broadcast team, but they left the kids at home in Auburn because Grandma was coming to watch them. In San Francisco, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
What an impressive family, and so inspiring. Okay, so we are tracking another big event that's happening here in downtown San Francisco tomorrow. It is a news conference that's focusing all on the halftime show at the Super Bowl. It's definitely about the headliner, Bad Bunny, the Puerto Rican superstar, holding that press conference tomorrow. Of course, we're going to be there. After his big wins at the Grammys this past weekend, of course, he is one of the biggest stars in the world. And he's about to take the biggest stage. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell was asked about his choice for that show earlier this week.
I think everybody listen, Bad Bunny and I think that was demonstrated last night, one of the great artists in the world. And that's one of the reasons we chose him. But the other reason is he understood the platform he was on, and that this platform is used to unite people and to be able to bring people together with their creativity, with their talents, and to be able to use this moment to do that. And I think artists in the past have done that. I think Bad Bunny understands it, and I think he'll have a great performance.
And also at tomorrow's big news conference, Washington's own Brandi Carlile. She'll be performing right before kickoff, America the Beautiful. So that will be a special moment too. And remember, you can watch both performances on King 5, the game time set for 3:30. So what were the Seahawks up to today? Of course, Paul Sylvie is covering all of that and joining us live now from Santa Clara. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Joyce. Yeah, we checked in with the Seahawks today, and they made every player available to talk. Sam Darnold held court, stepped to the podium for the first time since opening night on Monday, and gave everybody an update on his oblique muscle. He said that the injury has had some time to heal since the end of the NFC Championship game, leading into the Super Bowls, a couple of weeks there where he hasn't had to do much and been able to rest. So he said he feels really good going into Sunday's game, and that's good. The Seahawks had a practice today, a full pad practice for the first time in 2 weeks. So that tells you that they've definitely ramped things up as they get ready for the Patriots. But Sam Darnold is ready to go, and he took all questions today.
You've obviously been to a Super Bowl in a backup capacity before. What did that process teach you about handling this week in a starter capacity?
Yeah, I learned a ton. I think the biggest thing is just trying to keep the routine the same, and that was something that I was able to ask Brock a little bit about during that process of kind of, are you feeling it? Or are you a little tired? And he said, no, I take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and do the whole media and do, all my obligations and everything I need to do, but continue to keep the routine the same. And I think the biggest thing too is early in the week, like these last couple days, I was able to get a lot of sleep. And I think that's huge because as you get closer to the game, nerves and just your mind might start thinking about the game and things that can happen. And, you're going to bed a little later, you got to wake up earlier. So I think just, getting as much sleep as I possibly could these last couple of days, which I did, is going to help me later on in the week.
Sam, to your left, the resurgence in the run game in recent weeks, how has that affected your performance and the overall offenses?
Yeah, I think, the way that our offensive line and our receivers, our tight ends, and our running backs have been able to communicate with each other and grow with that chemistry has only helped us a ton in the run game. And, we're going to continue to meet with each other. We meet with each other once a week on run game stuff just as players and get guys communicating in the room on certain looks that we see from the defense. And, it's just great. It's great to hear the guys communicating and gelling with each other, messing around with each other in the hallways and stuff like that in the hotel. There's a great chemistry going on, and I think that has a lot to do with kind of our success that we've been having in the run game, in the last few weeks.
Sam here on the right. You said earlier in the week, I believe it was last week, that going against this defense, it made you guys better as an offense. Your defense, the Seahawks,
right.
That is. What about that unit was so difficult for you guys to go against all year long, and how has that kind of played out in your opinion during the regular season? What made that unit so good?
Yeah, I think it's a few things, right? I think it's Coach Mike and the scheme, how the players play in that scheme, and how smart our guys are. Like the football IQ that our defensive players have. They understand in certain coverages, all right, like we might not be able to, hold our shell, as much as we can. We need to get to our spots, but in certain pressures, and maybe it's a third down, or maybe like a short yardage type situation, we're able to hold our shell a little bit longer and wait till they snap the ball. So just those little things. And, there's just so many smart players on that defense, and I think that's what makes it the toughest is how smart they are and understanding just the little nuances that come with playing defenses and also what the quarterback's looking for. I feel like they're very smart with what we're looking for as a quarterback and the center as well with protection. So, yeah, they just do a great job, and they make it really hard on an offense.
Hey, Sam, back right. Mike was talking a lot about your resilience and that being part of the ability to overcome some of those early season turnovers. Is there anything technical, though, that you can speak to that changed, whether it was with you or the offense, in the later stages of the season?
Where are you? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, back here.
Oh, gotcha. Hey, what's up? I think, the biggest thing is, for me as a quarterback, just understanding situations. The first and second down stuff, being able to understand, okay, why are we calling this play? Where my checkdowns are at. Is it a certain protection where, they might eat up the back and the back might not be able to get out, and I got to, maybe throw it to a receiver or just throw it away over his head? Or is the back going to be able to get out and I can look for him a little bit quicker on a check down? And then when it comes to third down, being able to, get through my progression, understand why we're calling the play, if I do get out and scramble and I can find someone open, great. If not, that's kind of the benefit of having a great defense. Is I've always felt like this year, especially the latter half of the season, I always felt like I never really had to force anything, and that's a big key for me as a quarterback and a kind of a security blanket almost. I can feel really confident in just moving on to the next play and letting our special teams and our defense go to work, understanding that we just got to protect the football at all costs, and being able to move on as a quarterback from there.
Hi, Sam, back left.
Gotcha.
Right here.
Yep.
Frank Gore might be elected to the Hall of Fame this week. You were teammates with him in 2020. I was hoping you could reflect on what he might have brought to you as a young player, and then just quick side note, tying back here to San Francisco or Santa Clara. You're going to be using the 49ers locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Have you put in a request to be in the same spot there in the corner that you were in 2023?
I haven't. I haven't put in that request. That might be a good idea, though. Get some familiarity there. It was a great spot too. It was like back corner. I had nothing on the left side, so it was a great spot. I can put my backpack there and be really comfortable. So I know EK and the equipment guys here in Seattle do a great job of giving me some space. So.
Sam, very comfortable talking to the press today. And, again, this is the second to last day. Tomorrow will be the final day that the players and coaches talk to the media, and then the NFL shuts it down. No more access to those players until after the game on Sunday. And credit to Mike McDonald. He's been talking every day of the week, so I'm sure he's one person we'll be happy to just get to football after tomorrow. Joyce?
Yeah, no doubt about that. This is it, so we aren't going to hear from him again until after the Super Bowl. All right, Paul, thanks. We'll get back to you in just a couple of minutes. So local, state, and federal officials say that the Bay Area is ready for a safe and secure Super Bowl. We heard a security briefing where they sort of gave us the update. They reminded fans to stay alert for anything suspicious. The NFL's chief security officer reassuring the public while the Department of Homeland Security is helping to secure the event, ICE agents will not be present.
We'll send a variety of different agencies. That does not include ICE. There is not ICE deployed with us at the Super Bowl, and I don't believe there has been in the last several. But most of the other departments, from the Coast Guard to, many other agencies, are here.
Authorities say they've been planning security for this entire week and Sunday's game for more than 18 months now, so they are ready. All right, straight ahead, her husband is one of the stars of the Seahawks. We sit down with Haley Lott Williams to talk about this huge week ahead. And there's no question about who these homeowners are rooting for, the story behind this over-the-top decor, and a Super Bowl experience for all of the fans. We're going to take you inside the NFL fan experience when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. So here in San Francisco, football greatness clearly runs in the family. Haley Lott Williams. She is the daughter of 49ers legend and Hall of Famer Ronnie Lott. And as you know, she's also the wife of Leonard Williams of the Seahawks. Well, earlier today, we caught up with Haley to talk about football, family, and finding calm in the chaos. The NFC Championship, the pictures of you on the field, with him kissing your belly. And then at one point he scoops you up and you're like sobbing. Walk me through that.
Yeah, it was such a special moment. We were all the girls, we didn't really know what was going on in the game. We're all gathered together, and once we found out the news, we all are crying and just so joyful. We're all running onto the field trying to find our partners, and when I saw him, I just remember him picking me up, like you said, and I felt like he was holding me like a little baby, and I love that feeling of the way he loves me and the way he cares for me.
Couldn't help but notice you're due in a few weeks.
I know.
And it's just been precious to watch him interact with you and kissing your belly all of the time. So travel, soon to be new parents.
Yes.
What has this all been like for you? How are you soaking up this moment?
I think we're just being really flexible and fluid because we've never been this far, right, in football. And so for my husband, it's different. It's harder on his body, and so I'm adjusting. Being pregnant is harder on my body, and so he's adjusting. So it's really just about us talking, communicating, learning from each other, and being the best support we can in each moment.
What is it like to be here for the Super Bowl in your hometown?
It is so special, just being able to be with family. Last night my mom picked me up from the airport. She took me right to see my husband. So it just feels familiar, comfortable, and I feel so blessed to be here.
You are the daughter of a 49ers legend, Hall of Famer, Ronnie Lott, and now you're watching your husband sort of step into that spotlight. What has that been like, that journey?
It's been amazing to watch them. they've always been close. They've had this connection with football, but to see them bond in this special, unique way that only happens to so many NFL players, I feel like has been really important for my husband to have that support.
Do they talk all about football all of the time? Because it's been your life since you were a child, right?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
In your own right, you have created a very successful business on breathing, meditation, and mindfulness. I want to know the backstory of that and how that has helped you and your husband be in the NFL and be in the spotlight like you are.
Yeah, it's so interesting. My mom actually had us doing family yoga when we were kids, and that's kind of where my journey, I feel like, with meditation started. So I struggled with my own mental health issues, and meditation kind of became the practice that was the holistic way for me to heal. And that was 10 years ago that I started really studying it and started teaching it myself. So my mom was really pivotal in that. It doesn't have to be anything special. It's really just how can we come back to our breath? How can we come back to this moment? How can we feel our feet where we are?
It's really being present, right?
Yeah.
And not looking too far into the future or the past, being just really in the moment, truly.
Yeah, and allowing ourselves to enjoy it. And that's kind of what the playoff journey, I feel like, has been for us. I'm like, wow, we've always dreamt about being here, but let's not let it slip away from us. How can we really soak in every single second of it?
And then you share that, what you learn, and your just knowledge on meditation and breathing with so many other people, and the Seahawks honored you for the work that you do, amazing community work you do. What was that like?
That was such another special moment for me, because I remember I said in my speech, this world, I think the world at large is very male-centered. You've probably experienced that in your career.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and for the Seahawks to take a moment to acknowledge me and the way that I showed up is everything.
Is there anything that we don't know about him that he wouldn't mind you sharing that would be sort of you didn't know this, but?
Well, Leo is a man of many things, such as this. He is kind of known for his plant, that's his, he's a plant daddy, if you will. He has tons of plants, probably 100 that he cares for. And I think the thing people think is that I take care of them, and he's every off day working just as hard as he does on the football field, watering the plants, polishing the leaves, and he just has this care
very
for things.
Nurturing.
It is very nurturing. He's going to be a great dad.
How are you feeling going into that game?
I feel so excited and so grateful and just so curious to see what he's going to do. He's an amazing player. The team is filled with amazing men that just have this connection that I've never seen before. So I'm truly excited just to see what they come up with, because each week, you've been watching and just seeing these crazy plays that they do and these things that we're just wow, you guys are all incredible. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is just being with my family and just seeing the ways that the Seahawks surprise us and wow us. And just I'm excited for that.
Such a full circle moment for the Lott and Williams families. And so you can imagine all of them are going to be in the stands on Sunday to watch Leonard Williams in his first ever Super Bowl. Fingers crossed. We have a lot more ahead for you still in this hour as we count down to kickoff. Diehard 12s take their fandom to a new level. The story behind their hard-to-miss home decor. And just like the pros, step into the NFL fan experience with King 5.
Hi there, I'm Perella Lewis. I want to give you a quick update on your Super Bowl forecast. If you were going to be in and around San Francisco, here you go. First things first, it's been nice all week long. High pressure that is dominating our forecast here for the next couple of days has already been in control there. So it's going to be dry up until late Sunday. However, you will see some morning fog each morning, but as we go into Super Bowl Sunday, we'll start to see an increase in clouds. clouds. That ridge of high pressure begins to break down, and as you can see, we'll start to see some rainfall moving in. Could there be a sprinkle or a stray shower? Yes, that's possible, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be during the game. So we'll say increase in clouds. Boy, is it going to be warm. Highs near 67 degrees. That is pretty mild, that's for sure. We are looking at, if you're going to be tailgating, some patchy fog, but I do think you will be dry throughout the morning and likely throughout the day. Best chance of a stray shower right now looks to come maybe toward the end of the game or even for those of you that are heading home. So all in all, things are looking pretty good. Hey, if you're staying here at home heading into Super Bowl Sunday, we've got a very different looking forecast. We're looking at temperatures in the low 50s with some scattered showers. I don't think Sunday is going to be a washout, but I think some of us will be dodging some showers, especially the farther south you live. So something to keep in mind if you're going to be enjoying some of the celebrations and the festivities close to home. Up until then, we've got a little morning fog. We've got a couple more dry days, some sunshine, and then we're back to wet weather heading into the weekend. And next week, we're going to be talking about some return of the snowpack to the mountains and to the passes as well.
Thanks, Perella. So it's home sweet home for a Washington couple who bleed blue and green. Savannah Welch introduces us to a couple who turned their house into a Seahawks landmark.
In Othello, Washington, you don't need GPS to find this house. Just follow the blue, the green, and the giant Seahawks logos painted right on the walls.
I was on Facebook one day and I seen a garage painted with the Big 12 on it. So I came home and asked my husband, hey, can we paint our house Seahawks? He says, sure, why not?
That why not turned into a full-blown Seahawks landmark, one that's been turning heads for 11 years. Roger and Sharon Enns say it's become an Othello icon.
The logos on the house, I painted them myself. I got a old-time projector like we used to have at school and set it up there just to get the rough design. And then at dusk, I'd go paint and follow my lines and get it all put up there.
The Seahawks spirit doesn't stop at the front door. Inside, multiple rooms are always game day ready.
I love to decorate, so I go a little overboard. Some people tell me.
And their Seahawks real estate keeps growing. Roger built Seahawks-themed apartments nearby, complete with jersey numbers as addresses. With the big game around the corner, they're feeling confident that this rematch against the Patriots will settle the score once and for all.
We're going to get our revenge this time. We're going to do it.
Yep. We got a great team. They're united, and I think they're going to do an awesome job.
And if the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, the couple says they're ready to add even more to the house. Savannah Welch, King 5 News.
That's some serious Seahawks spirit right there. Okay, coming up, we're going to catch up with the Seahawks, our sports team, asking them about their final preps before Sunday's game. And also ahead, can you make the cut? The NFL Fan Experience lets you test your football skills. We're going to take you inside. Back, everybody. I'm Joyce Taylor here live in San Francisco with our countdown to kickoff. I feel like the week's going fast. We have now less than 4 days to go until Super Bowl 60. And the energy is real here. Getting so close. It's going to happen right here, Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, about 40 miles from where we are tonight in San Francisco. But of course, that's where we find Paul Sylvie with the latest from the Hawks today. Paul.
Well, Sam Darnold said that he was feeling better and was ready to go for Sunday because the time off helped his oblique injury. The bad news for the Seahawks today, late in the day, we get news that Nick Eamon-Wari, the rookie safety, injured his ankle toward the end of practice covering in a pass play. So he was tended to, and there's no further word on where they're going to go with Nick Eamon-Wari, but he was taken off the field, and revisited, and trainers looked at him. So no word yet on how severe that ankle injury is, but he was definitely limited at the end of the practice. So we'll anxiously await word from the Seahawks tomorrow to see an update on Nick Eamon-Wari's injury. He is one of the best rookie defensive players the NFL has this season. One of the veteran defensive players and one of the best in the NFL this season was 12-year veteran DeMarcus Lawrence. He signed a 3-year deal with the Seahawks in the offseason. Very excited to play for Seattle. Really thought they had a chance to get to the Super Bowl, and he took to the mic today.
I wanted to ask you about just the importance of what you bring to a very young team. These guys like yourself, Coop, Samson, veterans that have been brought in, a guy with playoff experience. How much does that help a group that hasn't necessarily been through all this?
Yeah, it's really difficult to say. We all bring our unique, characteristics to the game, and just speaking on myself, I think it's my tenacity, my energy, my play recognition, and really my communication skills on the field. I feel like I communicate well with the young guys out there. They respond well to my energy, and I feel like, when I take the ball away from the opposing offenses, it definitely energizes my young guys.
Do you learn something from the number of playoff games you've been in that allows you to kind of deal with something like this in a calm manner, even if it hasn't been a Super Bowl quite yet?
Yes and no. You have to adjust to the schedule. You still try to, keep the main thing, and block out all distractions. But you see, we here talking to media. I know some of these guys, don't usually talk to media throughout the year, and now, it's media in everybody's face. So you have to be able to adjust through that, but also, keep the main thing, focus on, game planning and, being ahead of plays so you can go out there on Sunday and make plays.
It seems like AD's role and influence and experience with you made you a guy they really wanted to pursue. Mike thought that based on his conversation with AD that you were going to be a perfect fit. What about that relationship that lends itself to this?
Yeah, just our experiences over the years. Coming into the league, AD was a rookie too. So we learned from the same guru, Rod Marinelli, and just feel like we thought the same of the game. And I feel like I definitely would have, been a good fit, under his system and, after playing years of football with him.
How about Mike? You've been through a lot of coaches. Mm-hmm. What's allowed him to have so much success in just year two?
Yeah, I think first is a relationship with the players. Being a young coach and, being diverse in his play calling, I feel like it fits, players so well because he always putting us in the right place to make plays.
What about loose and focused as an overriding philosophy? What does that mean to a player?
Loose and focused, loose, still having a lot of energy, being able to play around with you guys, have fun, but also, still focus on the task at hand.
Last one for me. Night before a game, what's your prep like? Are there nerves? What do you go through?
I have my nightly meal, pray with my kids, pray by myself, go to bed, Hopefully I get good dreams about making plays in the game and, wake up and start my day.
Do you have a message for the guys?
Message for my guys? Yeah, man, stay loose and focused. This is the time of our lives, and shoot, let's have fun on Sunday. Thank you.
You said when you signed here it was because you wanted to win a Super Bowl. How kind of cool is it that that kind of has come true, and all the doubters that probably laughed at you at the moment when you said that?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, and it really goes to, all these guys in this room, from head up to, our coaching staff to our players, and how we found a way to play the game this year. I feel like, we created something special, a special brotherhood, and, it's going to be cool. Thank y'all. No? Yeah?
One thing that we've noticed, like I'm from Boston,
Uh-huh.
is that it seems like track talkers are dying hard, and everyone on their side, they were talking about today, they're like, we do not want to end up on someone's lawn.
Yeah.
Like, is it kind of a bummer that you can't really to stir some stuff up, or do you just try to play it right down the middle?
I mean, that's never been my type of game. You know, I'm trying to hit you in, you know, my trash talk is seeing you get up off the ground. So, you know, that's how I approach the game. And, you know, trash talk is really for, you know, losers. You know, that people that don't want to play between the lines and, you know, want to use words instead of, you know, using what God bless them with, and that's their hands and feet.
Is there anybody on that side that you have played with or played against? And like, what are your takeaway from a guy on that side who might feel like that guy's
No. I mean, I don't play it against some of their players, but, you know, no, like watching film, it never crossed my mind like, no, that guy's you know, one of those people or, you know, anything like that. Go ahead.
When you guys go 1-3-1 in practice, what makes the offense just so difficult to play against? What makes them so special? Can you just describe them?
Yeah, I believe it's their cadence, you know, how quickly they get on the ball, their approach. You know, I mean, you start to get used to formations and stuff when you're in, like, training camp or whatever, but, you know, how they approach the ball and, you know, quick count, you know. I mean, you got, you know, star players over there, Coop, Jackson, you know, Sam, throw darts. So it's like, you know, we're very gifted on, you know, all levels, and, you know, I feel like, you know, that's what makes it so competitive and, you know, so special about this group.
You know, you can tell just listening to Marcus Lawrence, he's in his 12th season in the NFL. He is very grateful for everything that has come his way throughout his life, and I think one of the more memorable scenes from that NFC Championship game and the celebration afterward was DeMarcus, his wife, and a couple of his kids on the field with one big group hug, tears falling. Just a real emotional scene right there, and it just tells you how much it meant for him to finally reach the Super Bowl. So best of luck to him, and hopefully he gets to host that trophy on Sunday. But he's just one of the good guys and one of the best on the Seahawks, that's for sure. Joyce, back to you.
Such a great story. So much work, so much energy, so much time and sacrifices led up to this moment. It's so great to see it pay off and to see the joy that they have leading into Sunday. Paul, thanks so much. All right, so it has been packed down here at the convention center for the last couple of days, as we've been telling you. They go from 3 to 10 every night. This is where the fan experience is happening. It's where people can go to test their sort of athletic skills. So we sent King 5's Drew Andre this morning to check it out.
Welcome inside the Super Bowl experience. Let's go take a trip around. Let's start here in the Play 60 section. This is a fun one. Of course, I've got my football in my hand. Right now, you want to try to make it in that target. Here we go. Boom, perfect. That was the first take too. Not too bad. All right, and then over on this side too, which all these areas are going to be full of kids. Adults are welcome too. You have some of your drills that you can do over here. All right, I'm not that agile, as you see right on there. We're moving, and then tackle. Pretty fun. This is definitely gonna be a popular spot. Want to feel like you're at the NFL Combine? Well, we have a couple of those activities. The vertical jump is right here. All right, we're all set. Let's give it a shot. There we go, got the very top. Might be cheating a little bit. I am about 6'4". I think that's designed a little more for kids, maybe? Not totally sure. Okay, and over here, bench press. This is another one of those combine activities. This is the weight that they use during the combine too. 45s on each side. We'll give it a shot here. All right, not too bad. One hand maybe? One hand? All right, I think you're getting the point now. It's a bit of a prop weight. We want to make sure all this is kid friendly. I think this activity is going to have a lot of long lines because I think it's probably my favorite. And how often do you get to do this? Kick an extra point. I believe that is regulation up there, not 100% sure. Right now I have placed the football down and we're gonna give our extra point a shot here. I've managed to make a few, so let's see if we can get it this time. And it is good. And at the Super Bowl experience, all 32 teams are represented right here. We have a helmet from every single team, and then plenty of photo opportunities here. You have uniforms with your favorite team, and you can come up just like this and take a picture with them too. And it's not just games here. Welcome inside the NFL Museum. Once you come in, it takes you through a chronology of pro football dating back all the way to the 1800s. And then we move decade by decade, getting a real history lesson here of football throughout the decades. And what is football history without the Hall of Fame? This is a Hall of Fame gold jacket right here. There is so much memorabilia around here, some of it from the Hall of Fame. You have helmet and shoulder pads from Sterling Sharp here. We have an Eric Allen jersey. These are just a couple of the examples of all the memorabilia around here. And now follow me over here. This is your opportunity to potentially meet some legends of the game. You might have to stand in a line like this, but when you make it all the way to the front, you're able to get an autograph from an NFL player. Have you ever been inside an NFL locker room? Well, here's a version of your chance to do that. And we have some star players' jerseys here. There's Saquon Barkley from the Philadelphia Eagles, and you have all that gear that's set up there. From each team, there's a star player that's listed with their jersey. Let's take you over to the Seattle Seahawks. Who else? It's Sam Darnold right there, number 14. Look, there's even a razor and some Head and Shoulders down there too. And when you walk through this tunnel right here, it leads you to a section where you have the opportunity to see a Super Bowl ring from every single Super Bowl. Well, thanks for taking a little trip around the Super Bowl experience with us. If you're in town and you plan on going, it's open during the week from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. and then on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sounds like that's going to be the busiest day. We'll send it back to you.
So that means if you're going to be making the trip down flying or making a road trip, you have until Saturday to enjoy the NFL fan experience. So you're in luck. We'll be right back. So you'll remember last night we were talking a lot about the Pro Bowl that was happening at the convention center behind me. Well, tonight, Kevin John from our sister station in Sacramento gives us a look at all the fun inside.
Well, the rules and the location of the Pro Bowl have changed a lot over the last 10 years, but the one thing that remains the same is the excitement it brings to the fans. Mascots from many NFL teams are here, including Casey Wolf of the Kansas City Chiefs. And can you believe he had the audacity to take my phone? How rude. See, that's why the Chiefs didn't make the Super Bowl this year. Well, at least he gave it back to me. All right, now to the game. Here in the first quarter, the NFC in the red zone, and NorCal native and former Cal Bear Jared Goff is picked off by Jamar Chase. He takes this back for the pick six, and he even gives us a backflip. You fancy, huh? Now, this was a high-scoring affair. In the end, the NFC won 66-52. Next, we're heading to Radio Row, where I tried to get an interview with anyone who would talk to me. Hey, there goes Rampage.
What do you enjoy the most about Super Bowl week and everything that goes on?
Oh, probably the parties, and I love getting interviewed. I love them.
Oh, is there anyone in particular you love being interviewed by?
But hold on, what's your name? Cactus John?
Yeah, Kevin John.
Kevin, I love getting interviewed by Kevin John.
I paid him before this. So, do you have a prediction for the Super Bowl?
Hey, I don't know. I think the underdogs, the Patriots are the underdogs. I think they're gonna take it.
Do you have a prediction for Super Bowl Sunday?
I do.
Care to share it?
Yeah, that's the other one, right? So it's the Patriots.
Now, of course, the NFL fan experience was a major attraction and will be for the rest of the week. And then the big event coming up on Thursday night, the NFL Honors, where the NFL will award this year's MVP. In San Francisco, Kevin John.
So the Seahawks were back on the practice field today. Ariel Orsuto breaks down how one rookie is getting ready for the game of his life.
Nick Wari was the steal of this year's draft, where the Seahawks nabbed him at the beginning of the 3rd round. With his size and versatility, he's been giving offenses fits all year long.
I think we've been ready and we've been prepared for any type of quarterback we're ready to see. So, we just got to go out there and play ball and just see what goes down on Sunday. Could you repeat that question? Yeah. It's super important. You got to stop the running if you definitely trying to take over a game. And I think we've been doing that great this year. I think we got the best defensive front in the NFL as far as our defensive interior tackles and our edges too. Like I think they're disruptive, and if we just play with those 7, I think we can do a great job at stopping the run, especially adding me into the box. And it's hard to run on us, man. We got a lot of dogs, and our corners are willing to tackle, so it's not an easy task to just. If you want to make it a game about running the football and trying to, do that, then we'll see how that goes. But respect to their run game too. They got a good run game, good running back. So we'll see how it goes on Sunday.
They're speaking such high praises of you so early in your career. What does that mean to you to know they have that confidence in you?
It feels good knowing my vets recognize, even as a rookie, they never want to give rookies credit or whatever. They kind of always like want to jab, and they still definitely do that. Jab at me, make fun of me a little bit, but the fact that they're giving me respect as a rookie, and they got great ball played in their careers, even the dudes on the defense shows a lot. It makes me proud a little bit. Like I put the work in for this, and just happy to be here with these guys and just make this a lasting legacy. So.
This defense is an amazing camaraderie. There is so much that you can lean on each other. What's that also been like for you, knowing you've got these veterans behind you that are right there in your corner?
It makes it fun to go into work every day. It doesn't really feel like work. I'll say, like every day we're going in there laughing, joking, and even now like we're playing and like we got our own little language in the locker room and even out here. So it's just super fun playing with the vets. They play a lot of ball. I'm just a rook, so eventually they'll probably be looking to retire soon. But I'm just enjoying every moment I can with them right now. So it's just happy to be here.
Last question: who's your hero in your life off the field?
I'd probably say my family, specifically maybe my brothers. I got 4 older brothers, and I probably wouldn't be who I am personality and even here as a football player now without them. They kind of like molded me as a player and a person, so I'm just grateful for them. It was a great time growing up, and I respect them and love them with all my heart. So,
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hey Nick.
How you doing?
So, when you're going against your own offense, how does that prepare you against this Patriots team? Do you see any similarities again with your offense and their offense?
Nah, I think I don't really see any similarities. I just know when I first got here, like trying to play against our offense, it was so hard for me. Like that was probably the hardest thing I had to adjust to, like learning the way NFL offenses work, and I was like getting that work in practice. So it definitely helped me as a player going against our offense every day. You got Coop, JSN, we got a bunch of receivers on the outside before we even added Rashid, and our running back core is insane. Like offensive linemen blocking well, getting off the ball fast. So I don't really see any similarities, to be honest.
Was it the adjustment of playing in the NFL that was hard, or was it specifically the Seahawks offense that was so difficult to play against?
I think it was the Seahawks offense. I think it was the Seahawks offense. Players and scheme-wise, like trying to track K9 with my eyes and go guard JSN and Coop is like, and our tight ends too. I forgot. Yeah, our tight ends too. Like we got so many players that you can't even like account for everybody. So definitely the Seahawks offensive scheme, trying to adjust to that more than the NFL.
I know Sam said sometimes it's really frustrating to play against you guys, and it's really difficult to play against you guys, and it makes him a better quarterback to play against you all. But what makes you a better DB to play against Sam?
I say I remember after a lot of games, a lot of coaches come up to me and stuff and like just giving me respect, like saying I'm a good player, and I know I give offensive coordinators a lot of fits and give them a tough time to like try to figure out like how can they attack me personally, or like maybe how can they, I think if you allow me to disrupt the game, I think in that right, I think I'll do it. I think that's what I've been doing all year. Just making the plays that come to me humbly, but I just give offensive coordinators and a hard time to figure out like how to attack me. Do they go in the run game, the pass game, screen game? So I'll say that right there.
Wari graded as the best defender in championship weekend, holding all receivers to only 2 catches and getting 4 tackles in run defense. Joyce?
Thanks, Ariel. All right, from coworkers to friends to now viral sensations, 2 SeaTac women now have a bunch of fans, more than 1 million, as they are rooting on the Seahawks. Sebastian Robertson has the story behind the Lunch Ladies.
This is going to be hot for them.
It was going to be hot.
This steakhouse in Bellevue is not where Lanisha and Melissa imagined they'd be shooting a video when they first started.
Hey, how you doing? Usually the videos that we do, they're like between 15 and 30 seconds. We can knock them out in a few minutes.
Together, the 2 grocery store workers have built an audience of more than 700,000 followers on TikTok, winning them over one at a time with their Lunch Lady dance moves.
Yeah, I started dancing in my living room a long time ago. I needed something to spice it up, so I brought it to work, and me and Melissa just hooked up, and we just made it happen.
From songs about produce to recently dancing their heart outs for the Super Bowl-bound Seahawks, the Break Room Chronicles, as they're called, clearly resonate.
Me and the Lunch Ladies, we're going viral. The Lunch Ladies, there's nothing out there like this. Like the Lunch Ladies we're like kind of the naughty Lunch Ladies, but we're still keeping it clean.
With their Seahawks set to make their 4th appearance in the Super Bowl, these Lunch Ladies are doing it big. They've landed a brand deal to help promote a local business in a way that only they can.
I think we killed it. We did a bunch of different scenes with it.
The 2 met at work, a Safeway in SeaTac, and for years have used the break room as a background, rotating out backup dancers and capturing pure joy along the way. But the Lunch Ladies, now a viral sensation, are keeping a few tricks up their sleeves.
We have one more song out there that we're ready to do with our team and our crew.
Hoping for a Hawks win and to reveal a never-before-seen performance. In Seattle, Sebastian Robertson, King 5 News.
And that wraps it up for us tonight. Thank you for spending the hour with us. We have so many more stories to come leading up to Super Bowl Sunday and beyond with our post-game show. Stay with King 5, your home of the Seahawks, for all of our Super Bowl coverage right here on our King 5 app and on air on King 5. Good night.